Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria, and we've got your daily reading for Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2026. The moon is in the moon is in Capricorn, all day long today. And so moon in Capricorn is really encouraging you to focus on your goals, where you need more structure, what you want out of your career. It's good energy to really kind of focus on business. And for some of you, because the moon energy does deal with our subconscious, right? Sometimes we need to kind of dig deep a little bit. Are you happy with where you are right now? Are you happy with your reputation? Can you make some changes to improve your reputation? Are you happy with what you do for a living, with your paycheck, with the company? Are your values, in alignment, right? Are you proud of where you work? Are you proud of the work you do? So some of you could be really doing some focus right now on your career, and that Capricorn energy ruled by Saturn will certainly help you do that. But you may need to work through something, okay? Because this evening we do have a square with the moon in Capricorn and Saturn in Aries. So there may be something here where, a square is a very difficult aspect, and a square can really kind of keep us a little bit stuck and frustrated. And so some of you, maybe you are feeling a little bit stuck and frustrated with your job, your workplace, the business that you own, right? But a square, while we might be kind of stuck or at an impasse, this is also highlighting and showing us what needs to change or where we need to focus our energy. So a square can be helpful in that way. It's just we gotta work through it, right? It's not an easy aspect at all. So that is in your evening. So you could be having some discussions around your home or with your spouse. So there could be something going on there. All right. The rest of the day, we do have, not a lot going on through our day. We get a little bit more active in our evening today. But we've got a square in the middle of the night, okay, with the moon in Capricorn and Neptune in Aries. Okay, so there could be something there going on with your dreams. It could be that your dreams might be actually kind of sending you a message. It can be you might toss and turn a little bit in the nighttime. But this can be a little challenge for you if you are dreaming of something bigger and better. This can, because these aspects don't just start and stop in like 1 minute, right? So, the energy can carry throughout some of your day, right? But, are you, you know, it can be the energy here where I have a dream, I'm daydreaming, I'm fantasizing. And so the challenge here might be, how do I turn my dreams into reality? What do I need to do? What do I need to focus on? Where do I need to get realistic? Right. And that's the moon in Capricorn. So the rest of the day is fairly uneventful. So those are probably like the two bigger things going on. So let's have a look here. We've got, oh, lovely, the Wheel of Fortune at the back of the deck. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a wonderful energy, right? It is one that reminds us of the ebb and the flow of life. Wheel of Fortune can bring good luck, good karma, good fortune, expansion, and growth, and encourages you to get out of your comfort zone. But it can also represent a gamble, a risk, right? Are you a risk taker? Are you a mover and a shaker, right? Or are you hiding in the shadows? So the Wheel of Fortune says this can be a really good time for you to expand your horizons. This is an energy of growth, but it also does remind you about that ebb and the flow of life, right? Those cycles in life. Sometimes the wheel is in the upright and everything is all tickety boo. And then sometimes it's in the reverse, right? And sometimes we feel that we're stuck, or we feel that things aren't quite going our way. So we feel ourselves going backwards, but this is in the upright. So, this can be a good turning point for you. It is ruled by Jupiter. Okay. So kind of carrying the theme of that full moon in Sagittarius from Sunday, right? That energy is gonna last, right? It's a big energy. So Jupiter is walking side by side with you. Where can I help you get out of your comfort zone? Where can I help you to see your right path to the future? Jupiter is a very benefic planet, or greater benefic, right? And so Jupiter likes to bring us help and support and gifts, helps us see the big picture, and helps us to keep this wheel a turning and going in a positive direction. So you got some really good supportive energy on the back end. I will say the Wheel of Fortune can bring changes. It can bring potentially an ending, but it would back end with that, piggyback with a wonderful new beginning of some kind. It can just be the change in your thoughts, the change in your attitude, but it can be something bigger than that as well. Surprises can come in with the Wheel of Fortune, and of course, you might just get a lucky break of some kind. Okay, but with great risk can come great reward. So you may trust your intuition because you're all a little bit different in your energy and your situations, right? But is this a good time for you to take a chance on something, right? Whether it's having that conversation that you're scared to have, or making a business move that, you've been held back on, probably internally, right? Really, really, you know, get in touch with your subconscious, with your intuition, with your situation around you. If there's something that you want to do, right? This Wheel of Fortune says, what is stopping you from moving forward? And there's your question for your today. See what else we've got coming out. Seven of Swords. All right. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust your situation? Do you trust that you're making the right decisions? Do you trust that you're moving forward, or do you keep looking backwards? What is holding you back? Okay. The Seven of Swords can represent an energy of lies, deceit, and betrayal. So be careful when you're dealing with people today, because not everybody may be completely honest and forthright. And so this might be something that you need to have a conversation about, something you're working through. But dude on the card, right? He's like, okay, I've got all these swords. These are the thoughts. These are the things that I want. But what am I leaving behind? And he's like looking over his shoulder, right? And so, yes, we can look over our shoulder because it's like, there's something bugging me. There's something I don't quite trust. But, what do you trust yourself, right? Do you feel that there's something holding you back? Do you feel like you're making the right decision? Um, are you worried about letting go of something? Sometimes we have, a fear of letting go, right? And so with that, really do gather your thoughts together, right? And, really trust yourself in whatever decisions that you're making, whatever path you're headed on. Maybe some of you here, maybe you feel like you need to look over your shoulder. It might just be like a niggling situation that you've got going on, right? Some of you maybe feel like you need eyes in the back of your head, right? So it could be a business situation, a workplace situation where you don't trust some of the people that you work with, right? It can be an energy where maybe you find something that looks really positive, but there's something that doesn't feel quite right on the back end, right? Had a friend that, he had found this new job opportunity, thought that it was a good opportunity, but there was a lot of back and forth, right? Back and forth, a lot of back and forth. There was some promises that were made and not kept, and on, because ultimately, with that Seven of Swords, there was something not quite right. There was something wrong. Okay. And so if you feel like there's something wrong, examine that. Okay. Because we don't always have every situation, every opportunity, every conversation. We don't just always blindly put our trust and faith in it. Sometimes we need more information and ask more questions. So if something's bugging you, right, with that Seven of Swords, something's not quite feeling quite right, okay, ask those questions and trust yourself with the information. Remember, people, right, people in situations, they show you who they are, always, right? It's just a matter of if you pay attention or not. So something just to be a little bit cautious about with that Seven of Swords. But again, that can come from within you. We've got the Emperor here as well. Now the Emperor, there's that Aries energy, and we do have those two squares in Aries today. And of course, the Seven of Swords, right? So the squaring energy here can be with a particular person. The Emperor can be a boss, right? It can be a head of a household, right? We've got Mercury in Cancer right now, just went in yesterday. So maybe there's some things that we need to iron out, things we need to sort out with, with a parental figure or with, the boss man, something like that, right? So it's like, oh, we gotta hash this out. It can be on very simply on a daily reading. We just dial it back a little bit here. It can be that maybe there's some problems that you need to talk about with your boss, or maybe your boss is, not receiving the correct information, right? You might be the boss and someone's not being completely honest with you, right? So there could be something there, some dealings with your boss. But the Emperor can also just be your energy. And it is a card of strategy, but it's one of having a good foundation and, really being in charge, really being in control of things. Okay. It's a position of authority. Okay. So you could have an issue with an authority figure, right? But it can just be where you need to take charge of something. You need to be in the driver's seat, something here. But again, you've got to deal with some sort of issue. So this can be, because the Emperor is a card of strategy, right? And it may be that something with your strategy, whether it's your business or your home, whatever it happens to be, needs a course correction, right? And the Emperor, right? Kings rule kingdoms, emperors rule the whole empire, right? All four kings rolled into one. And you don't get to rule an entire empire, your empire, right? Unless you, number one, have a strategy, have a plan, but also are wise enough, wisdom, okay, to know when you need to make adjustments along the way. And sometimes that's one of the hardest things for us to do is recognize that, okay, things are not quite going to plan. I need to pay attention. I need to deal with an issue. I need to maybe just kind of get something back in line, or maybe I need to, kind of really make some bigger changes, right? So it's small tweaks or bigger changes, right? That you might just be in the driver's seat to get things done. And we have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, trust your intuition, be open and in the flow with things, right? So we've got a balance of masculine and feminine energy coming in here, okay? And two cards that do bring in wisdom. So, trust your inner wisdom, trust your intuition, trust your instincts. Okay. If your instincts tell you there's something wrong, listen to it. Okay. If your instincts are telling you, Seven of Swords, that you're the one getting in your own way and preventing your own progress, listen to it and deal with it. Okay. So the High Priestess, yes, very connected with the moon energy, very connected with your intuition, your spirit, your higher self, okay, but it is also one of balance, okay, is also one of decisions. It is a two, but the High Priestess is the keeper of secrets and mysteries and inner wisdom. So there could be something you need to reveal, something that you need to gain clarity on. Today, you need to maybe ask some questions, have that conversation, but you also need to trust your intuition. But there could also be something that is hidden, right? That needs to come to light here, and that's how we deal with things. Okay, and again, it can be something internal, something within you. Okay, but it can also be something external. But with this balance of masculine and feminine energy, right, then we have more of an ability to set the record straight, to get things right, to find the answers, to make those important decisions, right? Because we're being very practical, pragmatic, with that Emperor, but we're also, really in touch with our feminine side with that High Priestess. So something here with the Wheel of Fortune at the back of the deck, maybe something does need to change. And any changes that you make today, right, can really pay off for you. They can really get you back on track. Um, and so, trust yourself, but don't be afraid to have an important conversation, because sometimes as Seven of Swords, it's like I'm holding myself back. I have to have a conversation with somebody. Timing can be everything. Okay. And this is where your high priestess can come in. There's nothing worse than, okay, I need to have this conversation. I don't want to have this conversation, but I have to have this conversation. And then you just go and barge in front of somebody, and without taking stock of, read the room, people. Okay, is this a good time for this conversation? Or do I need to wait a minute, right? If you have to have a conversation with your boss, you're not going to go barging in when they're like 10 minutes away from trying to meet a deadline, right? You're going to be met with probably an icy stare and a cold shoulder, right? So sometimes you just need to wait an hour or two. And that's where your high priestess can really, really help you. Okay. It's like, is this the right time? No. Okay. I'll come back in an hour. Is this the right time? Awesome. Because it can change the outcome of a conversation. So let's grab one more card for you. We're going to grab an angel message for you today, an angel number. Thank you. Oh, we have 777. I am in the flow. Beautiful. What a wonderful message there. Your purpose flows from within you, and everything that is unfolding or being revealed to you is part of your purpose. A state of peace and calmness in your soul. I am in the flow. Wonderful. And what do we have in the flow with the high priestess? And we are in the flow with that wheel of fortune. Right? So be in the flow. Those are your messages for today, guys. I thank you so much for watching. You might have a little bit of luck today as well, as we already said with the Wheel of Fortune, because 777 jackpot, right? You just never know. But I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.